All right, what's up, everybody? To celebrate 1 year of Marvel Rivals, I'm going to be looking at all of the year one characters and discussing all of their primes. And at the end, I'm going to be ranking them from worst to best. And by worst to best, I mean least annoying to most annoying. So if you like this kind of content, like, subscribe, comment, and let me know in the comments. And without further ado, let's get into it. All right, and we're gonna start with Angela. And we are actually, I'll say this right now so you guys know, we're gonna start from the tanks, right? And we're gonna make our way to the DPS and then the strategists, okay? So, question. This is the question. What is Angela's prime? Honestly, I think Angela's prime is between season 4.5 and right now. Like, I feel like it's still going on as we speak. Angela was one of those characters that, like, on release, she was like really like not understood, and you have to, like, at that point, right? And people were mad, right? Because at that point they hadn't had a tank since Emma, who released all the way back in May. This Angela released in September, right? So yeah, people weren't very like happy about her, but like as people started to learn, people started to like get more acquainted with her kit, she definitely got stronger and stronger. And I don't think she's like one of those characters that kind of got better just with time, not necessarily buffs. I don't think they buffed her all too much. I can't remember any like big change to her off the top of my head, but yeah, Angela's like one of those characters to where, like, she's just a solid character right now. Like if you pick an Angela, like if you ever see Angela, I'm never like too mad. Nobody's too mad at you, but yeah. She's really annoying though. I will say this though. A good Angela is super annoying. But yeah, that's her prime for me. Alright, and next up we have Doctor Strange, my favorite tank. And it's pretty obvious when this guy was absolutely broken. It's when Gamma was running wild with him, Hulk and Iron Man. So yeah, his prime was season 0 to, I think, what was it, season like 2.5? I think that's when they removed him. Yeah, if I'm remembering right. I mean, I'll let you know if I get it wrong, but I think it was like season 2.5 when they removed him from Gamma and they replaced him with Namor. Whenever they replaced him with Namor, that's when his prime ended. But yeah, not too much to discuss. This guy was an actual server admin. His burst, I forget the name of the ability, but it used to do what, twice the damage, and it used to have twice the range. So it was like crazy good, and it used to convert more of the damage you took into damage. So it was like it was really good. So yeah, second they removed him from that, they nerfed Strange, and he wasn't server admin anymore. Alright, and next up we have Captain America, my first lord in Marvel Rivals, and I have to say this is also a pretty easy one. We know how crazy this guy was in stall meta back in season 2, and when dive was prevalent, dive's strongest season. Now I have to say, it does pain my heart to see Captain America in a bit of a weird state. I wouldn't say he's weak and I wouldn't say he's strong, but season 2 was his prime. Dive Nation, I was one of Dive Nation's strongest soldiers, man. I don't know why I switched. It's funny because I literally hate Dive now because I'm a strategist main, but I used to be like a hardcore Captain America one trick. It's so weird. But yeah, season 2, Dive Nation's strongest leader. Him and Iron Fist were stalling cart like it was no business. I swear to God, I have single-handedly won games going 0-5, not hitting a single person and just sitting on cart all game. It was actually fun. It was actually embarrassing. It was actually embarrassing how great of a tactic it was. But yeah, him and Iron Fist will always be remembered for stall meta. Alright, so Hulk is a bit of a weird one because he's never actually been super good as his own character, but his Gamma team up has always been like really fucking busted. And that begs the question, do I count the team up, or do I count like the team up for the character, or do I just count like the character itself? Because if I count the character itself, I don't think he's ever had like a super strong season. But I actually am gonna count the team ups because they are linked to the character. When people think of Gamma, they think of Hulk. When people think of Namor Squids, Iron Man Gamma, Strange Gamma, you literally can't think about him without Hulk. So I'll include the team ups from here on out. If like a team up made someone broken, I'll include it. So yeah. When was this guy's prime? Since I am including the team ups, it's essentially from season 0 to season 4.5 when Namor was finally removed from Gamma and put into another broken team up with another like broken character. So yeah. As for which one I think was the most annoying, it would probably be Namor. honestly. Iron Man was annoying too, and Strange was really annoying as well. But I'd say that Namor definitely takes the cake. I can't really say too much about Black Panther because by the time Black Panther got, what's the name, added to Gamma, people were already on the notion that, like, if you didn't ban Gamma, you were actively throwing, so you almost never got to see a Black Panther and a Hulk in the same lobby, and if you did, you probably lost at that point, right? But yeah. Alright, and next up we have the Thing. Now the Thing is going to be the first of many characters on this list that I'd say peaked on release and has quite literally never lived up to those expectations. Now this guy literally thrived when people didn't know how to deal with him, and now that people do, he is not that good. I think he's another character that's only ever peaked B tier, never been an A tier character. And yeah, so that means, in my opinion, his prime was season 1.5, literally on release. And I'd say, give it like 2 weeks into his release, everybody realized that this guy was, he was pretty, pretty easy, also pretty easy to counter, didn't have much counterplay. Yeah, so I say that would probably be his prime. If you do want to make it a stretch, you can say that season 2 was also a good season for Thing, because since dive was prevalent, Thing counters a lot of dive characters, but at the same time, at that point, and still really, if you run Thing into like more than like one dive character, it's not working. So yeah, season 1.5, that's Thing's prime. Nothing too much to really say about it, but yeah. Alright, and now we have Groot, one of Satan's greatest soldiers, back in season 2. And I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. His prime was season 2, alright? Don't think I forgot about you, Groot. Every single time I saw a Groot in my lobby in season 2, this guy would legitimately become the greatest server admin of all time, and he would team wipe everybody. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna say this right now, and I'm spoiling basically a lot of my perception on everybody on the list. I still think Groot is the worst server admin by far. Like, by worst, I mean he's dead as one of the most annoying. One of the most annoying by far, I'm not gonna lie. This guy legitimately ran lobbies. Like, I think people were so hung up on Emma that they didn't realize how fucking busted Groot was, bro. They didn't realize how busted this guy was, but this guy was fucking busted, bro. And the thing is, too, I played a lot of Thing in season 2 because I like Thing for a little bit. Bro, and Groot hard counters Thing. So I really had nothing but pure hatred for this guy, and I still do. Every time I see a Groot, I hate him. I immediately want to go Wolverine and just mess his day up, but it's alright. It's alright because this guy got nerfed the very second into season 2.5, and they ended that shit quick. So thank you, Guang. Thank you, Ziyang, for getting rid of this absolute terrorist. Alright, and now we have Venom. Now, Venom's another one of those characters where I also think that he's never really been above B tier. I know that might be a shock to some people, but I personally have never, like, had a season where I think Venom was the best tank in the game. I can say that about, like, a couple of tanks, but definitely not Venom. And as for his strongest season, I would probably say season 4.5. Season 4.5 is when they gave him the healing reduction in his ult, and I think, what's the name? Nobody really was like playing a bunch of like peel tanks at that time. The peel tanks were like pretty bad, so it was like he was pretty good. But after that, what's the name? Season 5, they added fucking Gambit, and then Gambit came the fucking Gambit team up, and then Mag, and everybody wants to play Mag, and Mag peels well, and then all of a sudden you don't see Venom anymore. So it's like, yeah, that's pretty much it. So nothing too crazy with Venom. He's a pretty solid tank. Nothing too wrong with Venom. Like, if you see a Venom in your game, I wouldn't be too like scared, honestly. He kind of just goes in, gets CC'd like 500 times and then dies, so nothing too crazy about him. It's like he's playing a little Hulk simulator, you know what I mean? Alright, and now we have Magneto. Now, we all know Magneto's been good for pretty much the majority of the entire game's life cycle, but we all know the second Emma got dropped and gave him that team up, it was over. So when Emma dropped, it was mental projection, and you gave him a team up with one of the strongest tank in the game, and he was also a top 3 tank in the game. So 2 of the top tanks in the game had a team up, literally ran lobbies. People were perma-bamming Emma for this exact reason, right? And you have that going all throughout season 2, all throughout season 3, and all throughout season 4. And then what do? I should have known this was gonna happen the second it happened too. They gave Magneto a team up with the most broken support in the game. Like, they gave the most broken support in the game. a team up with what a top 3 tank at that point. Well, he's like a top 2 tank, but like, bro, like, oh my god, this guy is literally, he's still broken. He's still broken. I wouldn't say he's broken, but he's still strong. So yeah, his prime season 2 to 5.5 and counting is still counting, still going on. All right, and now we have Thor, the god of thunder. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I personally think that this guy's prime was season 4 when they added Angela and gave him that team up to right about now. I still think Thor is pretty good in the right comp. He's not like a tank that you can run into everything, but I can never say that Thor is a outright bad pick. Honestly, I think tank is in a good position right now. I don't think there's any like outright bad picks, except for maybe like Thing, honestly, but shit, even Thing has like his niche scenarios where like he's good. So yeah, Thor season 4 to right now, I wouldn't even really say it's like a super like deep prime or anything. It's like a, he's like super good. He's good. A solid pick all around. All right, now we have Penny Parker. I want to start off by saying that Penny Parker is one of the most annoying characters that I've ever seen in a video game ever, in my personal opinion. Literally, when I was playing Captain America all the time, every day, bro, seeing this character legitimately make me want to like take 2 lead pencils and shove them up my nostrils, bro. But what is her prime? Her prime is season 2.5 to now. Ever since they added the rocket team up to give her those 2 nests, her ability to hold down choke points and convergence has gone up crazy. In convergence and domination, she's server admin. On convoy, you really have to be a specialist to make her work. But it's just like, I swear, you can like spawn hold, you can not spawn hold, but you can like hold first point for legitimately the entire duration of any convergence map on Penny, and that's just outrageous, especially with the rocket team up. With the rocket team up, it's damn near impossible to get there. But yeah, Penny, fuck you. I hate you with a burning passion to this day, and I'm not a Captain America main no more, but yeah, I still hate you. Alright, and next up we got Emma Frost, and this is very easy. Her prime is season 2 all the way up to around season 5. I think that's when she started to get like really balanced. To put it into perspective, Emma has been so strong for so long. She has had more nerfs than almost all of the cast, honestly. Every time there's a balance change, Emma's getting a nerf, and she was still strong. And even through all the nerfs, she's still arguably the best tank in the game. That's how strong Emma is. Not much to be said about her. Alright, and next up we have Rogue. Now, I'll be honest, as of the recording of this video, Rogue is the most recent character added to the Marvel Rivals character roster, so I can't really say she has a prime, because she hasn't been in the game for, that long. I will say this about her. I think she's a pretty good character. She's not bad, but she's not like super busted either. Honestly, I think she's one of the more balanced tanks. Like, if you lose to a good rogue, it's because the rogue is good and not because the character is good. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say like it's like undecided on rogue. It's too early to tell. Too early to tell. All right, we made it finally to the Duelist. Now, this is definitely going to be the longest part of the video, so if you made it this far already, thank you for watching, and sit back and relax, because this is going to be a long one. Starting off hot, though, no pun intended, is Phoenix, and I'm pretty sure we all know what her prime was. It was when she was on release, all the way up to around season 4.5, when they removed her melee sparks, and pretty much just made her a discount Hela. Now, people will argue and say that, she's good right now still, but honestly, she's only good because Hela is banned, which doesn't mean that you're actually strong. It just means that you're simply just a weaker option of a better character. So, yep, season 3 to 4.5. Pretty well know what her prime is these days. Alright, Mr. Fantastic. We all know what this guy's prime is. Season 2. He got all them buffs, and he became A tier, alright? And for all of the Mr. Fantastic mains that had been struggling in season 1.5, all of a sudden, every time you saw this character, he was server admin. The only season where Fantastic ever got bans, and it was great. Personally, of course, for me. I don't know about for everybody else, but for me, it was great. I had like a 65% win rate on this character. But I will say this about Mr. Fantastic. He's one of like the many characters in this game. I wouldn't really say many. There's like a handful of characters where like you can tell that the design team doesn't want to like nerfed them. I said nerfed them, like buffed them too much or like changed them too much, because a meta revolving around those characters would be like kind of bad. Like characters that basically like will decide metas. Fantastic's one of them. Like when he was meta, it would like having a good Fantastic decided your games. And people was gonna say, oh, it wasn't that bad. No, it was that bad. All right, because why on day 1 of season 2 I was over here dropping 40 kills casually. This guy was just broken. All right, I wouldn't say broken, but you know, season 2, bring back season 2 Fantastic. Personally though, honestly, I'm tired of all these like little changes he be getting. I'm spreading my Fantastic agenda right here while I can. Bring back season 2 Mr. Fantastic, and I will be a happy camper. I won't even care about triple support anymore. Bring back season 2 Mr. Fantastic. All right, now we have Storm. Now Storm is a bit of a tricky character because I actually think she has 2 very distinct primes. One is the one people most remember her for, and that's season 1, back when she was a permaban because of her goddess boost. It was ridiculously powerful. You can legit just steamroll teams of Storm by yourself. And her second prime, in my opinion, was in season 2.5 when they added Jeff Nato, and nobody knew how to like deal with it at the time. So again, she was a permaman because the last thing you wanted to do was have someone run Jeff Nato and just run your lobbies. I would say these, honestly, she has like 2 of the shorter primes in this video, because really they only lasted about like a season. And when she got nerfed in season 1.5, she became a team immersion with Johnny. Like, you would only be scared of a Storm if Johnny was there because of the Omega Hurricane, or as I like to call it, the Crisis City Tornado. And then what's the name with Jeff Nato? After the community figured out how to deal with it, it really wasn't that big of an issue anymore. Like, people just understood that like certain ultimates was just really good into Jeff Nato, and you just have to play those characters. And a lot of those characters were characters that a lot of people were already playing at the time. So yeah, tomato. And that's pretty much it with Storm. I have a love-hate relationship with Storm, honestly. When she was server admin back in season 1, I remember, and I hated it, because every time I saw one, I would lose. So it's still fuck you, Storm, to this day. I'm actually happy that you're just kind of irrelevant. Actually, yeah, Storm being irrelevant is actually something that's really good for my soul. Not that I really think about it. So yes, thank you for nerfing her, Ziyong, or Guang, whoever fucking nerfs people over there. Alright, and now we have my favorite Marvel superhero of all time, Blade. And it pains my heart to say this, but this character legitimately has never had a prime. He has always been ass, or at least I think the most you could even possibly get him to is B tier, and that's a stretch. This man has been stuck in C tier purgatory his entire career, and I don't know why. You want to know why I know why? It's because the dev team was quote unquote careful when designing him. Whole time they released Daredevil in the most broken, busted state all imaginable and refused to nerf him. I say that to say this. How would I fix Blade personally? First, give his regular sword some fucking meaning. All right, look, I'll fix Blade for you right now. Don't change his gun. Let his regular sword do percentage-based damage, and keep his sword slashes, his faster one, and let that be for squishies. You literally give him the perfect brawler comp, right? You give his gun poke, right? So he fits into poke, quote unquote, and then when he needs to brawl, he switches to either the regular sword or the super slashy sword, right? Boom. You fix Blade, all right? You gave him a purpose, because right now, he has no purpose. He's not good at anything. He's not good at poke. He's not good at brawl. He's not good at dive. He's not good at anything, bro. Why would you ever pick Blade when there's characters who do his job better and they're not even meta? I'm just saying, bro. All right, so now we have Punisher. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. Punisher has literally never had a meta ever revolving around him. I can't think of a single one off the top of my head. And if there is one, I would like someone to let me know, because I can't think of a single season where this guy was like dictating games, or like he was like a top 5 VPS. You know what I mean? So yeah, just let me know if I'm wrong on this one, but I don't think he's at a meta. Alright, and now you have Hawkeye. I want to start off by saying if you're a Hawkeye main, you're a bitch, and if you plan on picking up Hawkeye, I strongly discourage it, because there is a 20% chance that you will conduct pedophilia in your near future. Speaking of pedophilia, let's talk about Hawkeye's prime. So this guy was pretty busted back in season 0, where him and Hela were permabans, and if you weren't permabanning them, you were actively throwing in, you would lose your game. Coincidentally, in season 5.5, almost a year later, from that day, from that season, And guess what? Hela and Hawkeye are permabans still, and if you're not permabanning them, you're actively throwing and you would lose the game. It's funny how we progressed literally nowhere. There's no progression with this guy. You literally just took his season 0 self and just planted it in a different season. Do you know that Hawkeye doesn't even need to be at 100% charge to one-shot you most of the time? He can be at 50 or 49% charge and he can still one-shot you. This character just does not fucking work, alright? And every time I see his character, I hate it. And you know what's the funny part too? This character is it's so feast or famine. Like, when you feel a good Hawkeye, you'll feel it. But, I just fuck this character. I didn't want to talk about him no more. Fuck him, bro. Alright, and now we have Hela. Her primes are very similar to Hawkeye. Season 0 and Season 4.5 to now, when they added the Namor team up. So, yeah, pretty much, I don't have much to say about Hela. She's really just the same as about Hawkeye, like, very annoying character. She's always been strong. I will say this though, like, she's always been strong, but when Jean came out, Jean like gapped her so much, and they essentially did the same thing, that it was just better to ban Jean than to ban Hela. But it's not like she wasn't strong during that season though. But yeah, that's Hela, man. Alright, and now we have Black Panther, King T'Challa himself, and it's honestly kind of sad to see how he's in such a pitiful state now, because this guy literally used to be one of the most banned characters in the game. You thought Daredevil was bad. This guy literally was not allowed to enter lobbies for the longest time, and it's pretty obvious what this guy's prime was. Season 2.5, I think they fixed the change and how his dashes work, and it immediately make him extremely more lethal. And I'm pretty sure it stayed that way all up until like around season 4 when they added him to Gamma, because instead of just banning what's the name, Black Panther, you would just ban Gamma and you would immediately get rid of Black Panther, because Black Panther wouldn't want to play anyways. But I say, really, you can argue that it really lasted up until season 4.5 when Daredevil got released, because when Daredevil got released, he was quite literally just so much better at Black Panther and everything that there was no reason to ban a Black Panther. You rather would deal with a Black Panther than a fucking Daredevil at that point. But yeah, by that time, No Die was dead, so who really cares? Bro, I also want to add this real quick. Bro, Black Panther has like a top 5 highest ban rate in any season ever, bro. In season 3, he was banned in 45% of games, bro. To put that into perspective, bro, this is why I say that this character is so dead now, bro. This character used to be so, like, legit Thanos. To put that into perspective, Daredevil only has like a 39% right now. In season 4.5 to now, like, his highest is like 39%. This man, Black Panther, was on like prime Wolverine levels of getting banned, bro. Like, it was just crazy, dude. It's just crazy. Alright, and now we have Magic. I have a love-hate relationship with all Magic players and Magic herself. I think the character is fun, very rewarding when you have a good Magic on your team, but dear God, going up against a good Magic as a support player is actual fucking hell. Like, it's legitimately like one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life. And I already know what her meta is. I can tell you her meta with my eyes closed. Season 4, alright? Season 4 made me want to almost end my life every time I saw Magic, bro. Honestly, to this day, I'll hate ban Magic because of season 4, alright? And you wanna know a fun fact about Magic too? Magic has never had a below 52% win rate in any season. From season 0 all the way to season 5.5. She has never been below 52%. She is one of the only characters in the game who has never had a season where they had a negative win rate, alright? Now, I don't know if that's indicative of how good her players are, or if, like, she's just always been good. I'm not a Magic, like, aficionado, but I just wanted to throw that fact out for anybody who was wondering, because it always has felt that this character was always good, in my opinion. But some people say Magic needs a buff, so I don't know. Alright, and now we have Moon Knight, and it's pretty obvious when this guy was at his most strongest. That's a weird way of saying that, but at his most broken. Now, if you're newer to Marvel Rivals, like if you came around like season 3, or like anywhere around there, you probably don't know about this, but back in the day, back in season 1, Moon Knight's ult was bugged to where it did double the damage and it came down twice as fast, and you got it even faster than you do now. So obviously season 1 is when this guy was at his most strongest. I mean, I remember this personally, how bad it was. Like, it was so bad that I think it got fixed like the next patch, but like, bro, it was like Moon Knight was doing like crazy amount. He already got his, think about it, Moon Knight gets his ult fast now. he got it back then faster, and it did more damage. And it killed you faster than you can even react. Like, that's how bad his ult was. He had, like, legitimately one of the best ults in the game because you couldn't even react to it by the time it came down. Like, by the time you saw the spell field around you, it was already over because it came down that quick. They literally had to nerf it. So, yep, Season 1 Moon Knight hasn't been that good since. Alright, and now we have Squirrel Girl. There are 3 things that are guaranteed in Marvel Rivals the second you boot up a game. You'll die to dive, you'll step off point when you need to, and you'll die to unnecessary Squirrel Girl spam. And this was most occurrent during Season 3 to Season 4, alright? This is probably when she was at her most annoying. Back when, I think she was pretty much the only time I ever seen her banned was back then too. After Season 4, I think they nerfed her, and then she was, like, back to being, like, irrelevant. Granted, she was relevant before, but she was even, like, more relevant now. But yeah, Squirrel Girl's always been one of those characters that's always been asked to. But she's always been, like, very niche. Like, her spam was, like, so strong. Like, it just, like, 2-tap you just from not, like, paying attention. But, you know, once people started to pay attention, it wasn't as bad anymore. And then they nerfed her. So, yeah. Squirrel Girl, you suck. Alright, and next up we have Black Widow. Now, I'll be honest, Black Widow's literally never had a prime. She is the worst character in the game. I'm pretty sure her highest win rate ever was like fucking 40% or some shit. She is consistently having a sub 40% win rate in every season. She has no prime. She's never been good. The only way you can make a win work is if you have a Mantis damage boosting you, but then you have to revolve your team around Widow. It sucks. Moving on. Alright, we got my boy Tony Stark, the Armored Avenger. The Iron Man. What is his prime? Well, we all know Tony Stark was a part of Gamma for the longest time until they removed him from Gamma in Season 2.5 to add him to the Ultron team up. And we know that he was a little bit good after that. So I think it's safe to say that his prime was from Season 0 to Season 3. And after Season 3, he was respectably B tier, then he went C tier, and now he's F tier. So how the mighty get fallen, huh? But yeah, Iron Man. That's Iron Man for all of you guys. Alright, now we have Peter Benjamin Parker, and we all know what this guy's prime is. I mean, he's literally not recovered from it since Season 1.5 to the end of Season 2. We all know that this guy was absolutely fucking busted, alright? You have the very start of Dive meta. He was one of Dive Nation's strongest soldiers. And in fact, he was so annoying and so hated by the support community that they got him nuked from existence for the better part of like 5 months. And he's just now coming back, somewhat. I will say this though. Spider-Man definitely benefited from players simply just not knowing how to play the game as much as they do now. I will say this, like, had you had like Season 1.5 Spider-Man in today's game, I don't think he'd be as bad because supports in general just have gotten better and players in general have just gotten better. Now, I will say this though, a good Spider-Man is legitimately the most, as a support player, right? A good Spider-Man is one of the most annoying dives to go up against. I think he's also one of the hardest too. Like a really good Spider-Man. Like it feels like you have to be perfect. You have to play perfectly, all right? So I will give Spider-Man players that. But you don't ever see him. I will say this though. I will say this one last thing. I'm over here like rambling too much. Spider-Man players are quick play warriors, bro. Load into a quick play right now. Right now. You can even do it during this video. Load into a quick play right now. And I sort of got in about like 5 games, you'll find a Spider-Man player. Within 5 games. I promise you. No lie. But yeah, Spider-Man, he's ass now. I don't care. Fuck him. It's still fuck him to this day. Fuck Spider-Man. Fuck Black Panther. Y'all bitches. Alright, and now we have the Scarlet Witch. Now, I don't really think Scarlet Witch has ever been a character that has ever been, like, super strong, per se. She's also a character that I personally believe that is in that range of, like, the devs are, like, pretty scared to buff her, because I guarantee you right now, if Scarlet Witch is ever meta, it's a meta you don't want to be a part of. But, with that being said, what do I think is her strongest state? It is definitely, early release Strange team up, like when she got the Strange team up and pre the patch, before they like patched it for real, and she was able to do like crazy amounts of damage. Like if you saw her Strange in a Wanda, it was pretty much raps. Like it wasn't even like raps in the sense of like you would lose the game. It's just like it was just so busted in like a good way though. It was like one of those team ups where like it wasn't like Gamma, but it was like strong. Like it was a strong team up. Like if you saw like 2 people running that, like I would be a little bit frightened at that Wanda. But other than that, she's just never been that good, and she's probably going to stay C tier Unless the devs just start taking cocaine one patch and buff her to A tier, which will be funny if it happens, honestly. Alright, and now we have Bucky. Now, Bucky, you can make an argument that Bucky has been good ever since the game came out on launch, but I won't make that argument because in Season 0 and Season 1, I'd say there were definitely bigger evils than Bucky. But Season 1.5 is when you really started to notice just how good this guy was. Like, I mean, and you gotta think about it. Bucky was good since Season 1.5. Like, I firmly believe the lowest you can ever put Bucky was B tier, right? Which means I think you're a good character. And this guy has gotten buff after buff after buff to where he is right now, where he's been pretty comfortably server admin since Season 3, if I'm being honest. So I'd say, honestly, since Season 1.5 to right now is his prime. Because, like, this guy... They gave his fucking... He gets overshield on every ability, even if he misses. He can 2-tap you from short range, long range, it does not matter. He plays good into poke, he's anti-dive, and he has a very strong ultimate, bro. Like, the only way a Bucky is unplayable... I can't even think of a situation where he's unplayable. You can literally play a Bucky into almost every comp. Honestly. I say the only thing you really can't play Bucky really good into is just pure poke. Because at that point, you know, it's like, who are you gonna hook in? But... even then, you can still play Bucky. It's just so weird, dude. Like, he's so fucking broken. I don't know. And they gave his stupid fist, what's the name? Grounded. So if you get hooked in by Bucky, it is almost no way you're getting out of there. Like, if it's a good Bucky, with the second you get hooked in, you might as well just start thinking about what you're gonna do when you come back from spawn. That's all I'm saying. So yeah. Will he get a nerf though? Nah, probably not. Alright, and now we have Star-Lord. Star-Lord's a bit of a tricky character because I can't necessarily say he's ever had a season where he's ban-worthy, but he's never been bad. He's always been kind of one of those good, not great characters. A perennial A tier, if you will. But I would guess if I had to choose, his best like time to be a Star-Lord player was probably during like prime res comp, you know, when people were running the res team up with Adam, Mantis, what's the name, Star-Lord, doing a rocket, prime res comp right there. Literally nobody ever died. So I guess that would be it. So I guess his prime would be what, season 0 to like season like 1.5. Yeah, season 1.5 is kind of like when res comp died, when they nerfed the well, yeah, was it? Yeah, because that was the season where like they made everybody's like ultimate cost like high as shit. Yeah, so I think that season 0 to like season 1.5 is probably his peak, because when res comp was good, Star-Lord was a bit annoying to see. I will say this though, Star-Lord is literally one of the most fundamental DPS in the game. He can literally play into any comp as well, and he has an ultimate you have to respect. If the I literally have a whole term for this, the Star-Lord test. If your support ult cannot heal through Star-Lord ult, it's probably not going to be used in play. But you know, you heard it from here. You heard it from me first. All right, and now we have the team up merchant himself, Namor. Now, out of his 3 busted team ups, which one do I think is the most busted? And it's very obvious which one is the most busted. It's the one that was in the game for the longest, Gamma. Now, that means his prime would be season 2.5 all the way to season 4.5, all right? If I had to do a ranking of which ones I dislike the least and which ones I dislike the most, it would be Gamma at 1, the one I dislike the most, followed by Deep Wrath, followed by Chilling Assault. But all of them were annoying, and all of them pretty much means that Namor was always associated with a top tier team up in every season of this game, literally every season of this game. And think about it, Namor by himself, C tier at best. This guy is a team up merchant in the literal sense of the word. Lives and dies by his team ups. Think about it. If Namor didn't have a team up, if he was an anchor for a season, nobody is going to worry about Namor anymore. All right, let's be honest. It's not it, bro. Namor, you suck. I can't, bro. You're just bad. Alright, and next up we have Pokelock. Well, what is her prime? Honestly, her prime is probably season 4.5 to now. I know there was this time where she was like, you know, the best diver in the game, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the time where Psylocke's main way of doing damage is you sit in the back line, not even the back line, you sit in the mid line, you spam tanks, 2 dashes forward, and you ult the back line and you win the game. That's literally all Psylocke players do. and it's the most boring gameplay ever. So yeah, season 4.5 to now. That's when your stupid ass prime is. Alright, and now we have Wolverine. Now, we all know this guy has very two distinct primes. His first one was back in, what was it, like season 1 or 1.5? One of those where people figured out how to play Wolf and he became a tank's worst nightmare. And we have season 3 when Jean Grey came out and he got a team up that gave his grab lifesteal, which made him even more of a menace to tank players. So, I know seeing Wolverine is going to give a lot of tank players who watch this a lot of PTSD, so I'll try to keep this as short as possible for you guys. Alright, now we got my boy, Iron Fist. Now, we all know when this guy was prime. Season 2, stall meta. Iron Fist had just got turned into a tank buster. I think he's just got like a rework or something. Man, stall meta, man. Hey, you have to beat it to really understand. Dive was at its strongest season 2, so you already know Iron Fist was still a good dive at this point. Dive Nation. Oh, man. A lot of dive characters, if you can tell, a lot of dive characters' strongest seasons was around season 2, but, you know, we're gonna get into one of the more stronger dives very soon, trust me. Alright, now we have Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. Now, this is another pretty well-documented prime, season 2.5 to 4.5. I think that's when they gave him those really big nerfs. Either that or season 4, but I'm pretty sure it was 4.5, but yeah. From that, like, stretch, Torch was just objectively the best DPS in the game by far. He did the most damage, his ult was good, he literally could not be hit. It was honestly crazy how good Torch was, and I never ran up against a lot of good Torches because by that time I was like still in like GM, and like all the good Torch mains were in fucking Eternity and Celestial, like High Celestial at that point. But I do remember I got into a game with like a really good Torch player. Oh my god, I had never been carried so much in my life, man. But yeah, Torch, you have a spot in Marvel Rivals Hall of Fame as one of the most oppressive characters to ever grace this game by far. Torch will always have that for him. For a good time, he was the most oppressive character in the game, which is crazy to think about. Alright, and now we have Daredevil. I mean, we all know how broken this fucking guy is. This guy has literally been broken ever since he came to the game in season 4.5, and he's still a permaban to this day. So, yeah, not really much to discuss with him. Honestly, in my personal take, I don't even think Daredevil is that, like, oppressive. Like, there have been more oppressive characters in the game, in my opinion. But Daredevil is like one of those characters where it's just like the character is strong. It's like if the character is strong and the player is good, it feels so unfair. But the character is like, it's not like the character plays itself. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. Like, he's not brain dead, is what I'm trying to say. But people make him seem like he's brain dead when he's not. Like, I can't, like, for example, you and me probably just can't hop on Daredevil and just like win 60% of our games. You have to put time on this character. But yeah, he's broken, so nerf him, please. Alright, finally, I'm fucking done with Duelists, and we finally reach the Strategists, the last couple bit of characters we have to talk about for this video. If you've made it this far, honestly, I love you, because this is legitimately one of the like longest videos I've ever done, and I'm actually happy I'm doing this now, because knowing how big this roster is gonna get, it's only gonna get larger. So yeah, let's start off with Loki, the god of mischief. Now, Loki is a bit of a weird option because he's actually never been good. He's only, like, Loki is as good as the best strategist at the time, right? So, Luna Loki, Loki Gambit. So, you can really choose whichever one you feel is worse. They're both pretty good. I personally think that Luna Loki was worse simply because it was just 30 seconds of no one dying. But hey, if you think Loki Luna is better, I said Loki Luna. Loki Gambit is better, it's up to you. So yeah, Gambit is weird because his prime is essentially whatever else strategist has a prime, that's also Loki's prime because you just have two of that same ult. So yeah, that's basically it. Alright, and now we have Mantis, my second favorite support in the game currently. Now, what do I think her prime is? It's pretty well known. Season 0, back when everybody was playing her. And I'm actually kind of sad that I never got to play Season 0 Mantis because, boy, people talk about it like it was so fun. And I wish, trust me, I really wish I could, but hey, man. I still like the Mantis we have right now. She's still pretty good. She's just super situational. Not a support you run into every comp, but still, very good. Love Mantis. I would love a day where she's, like, hard meta again, but we'll see. Alright, next up we have Cloak and Dagger, my favorite support and my main, and we all know what her prime is as well. Season 1, Cloak and Dagger got her ult every 3 seconds. Her ult cost was 3,800, I think, so very, very, very low. If you think like some of the DPS that ult farm are bad, think about how easy it was for Cloak and Dagger to get her ult. OG triple support, the only time Cloak and Dagger ever got legitimate bans, it's pretty obvious what her best season was, and she has never been that good ever since, literally ever. But that's more of just a time come and goes kind of thing, not really a balance issue. Alright, we have Luna Snow, Marvel Rivals, and Guang self-proclaimed industry plant. Well, not even self-proclaimed, it's pretty well obvious that she's an industry plant, but nevertheless, what is her prime? Again, this is another prime that everybody pretty much knows. If you haven't gotten the picture, support primes are a lot easier to spot than others because, well, they've been running the game for about as long as the game has been going on. So, what is Luna's prime? From Season 0 all the way to Season 4. After that, Sue started getting buffed a lot more. Her, actually, no. I'm not even gonna say it's till Season 4. I'll say it's till, like, Season 5 for real. That's when the gap between Luna and Invis really got, like, big. And it wasn't even close no more. So, yeah. How might he have fallen? And it's funny thing too, Luna got these buffs just to have the same win rate as she did the prior season. Still C tier. For good reason too. Alright, now we have the Invisible Woman Susan Storm. Or, as some people have unaffectionately called her, Invisrael. Now, what is her prime? Also well known. Season 4, it's right now. Ever since she got those buffs in Season 4, and more so in Season 5, she has been nothing short of a raid boss. Now, do I think she's gonna get nerfed? I hope so. Do I think she needs a big nerf? No. She'll probably get like a range nerf. They'll probably like increase the cooldowns on her, like, you know, abilities, stuff like that. They probably won't like touch things like healing or anything. So yeah. Invis. She is the premier support, only behind Gambit. Alright, now we have the boy, Ultron. Now, Ultron's one of those characters where he's either meta or irrelevant. And let's be honest, the only 2 times he was meta was when Torch was meta and right now. So those are essentially his 2 primes. So season 2.5 to 4.5 and then now season 5.5. I mean, do I really need to explain when this guy's meta was? Alright, I know this is a pretty, I know this is pretty abrupt, but, I actually lost the footage for the last 3 supports because the file got corrupted, and the last 3 were Rocket, Adam, and Jeff. But, so, like, if you want to know what their rankings are, I'm just gonna put them on the screen right here, and, yeah, that'll be that. Also, I know I said I was gonna do, like, a ranking at the end, but now that I really think about it, a lot of these characters' primes are not really that interesting to really rank. And this video is already long enough, so I don't want to have to go through another 10 minutes of that. So I think I'll just leave it here. If you like this kind of content, longer content on my channel, let me know. If you disagree with something I said, also let me know. I'll try and put timestamps on the videos so it'll be like easier to see what character I'm talking about. And yeah. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.